Welcome, friend. Welcome to Strawberry Shift. Where do you remember what the strawberry symbolizes? So the Native Americans said the strawberry symbolizes the zeal of God, which means enthusiasm for love. And wouldn't you agree, our world needs more enthusiasm for love. And today is day 6 of Celebrate Compassion. This conversation is one of my favorites because it always creates change. It's something that holds all of us back. And if you're willing to do the process that I'm going to invite you to do on yourself and to take you through, which if you're watching this video, I'm sure you're more than willing, it works every single time. And I love things like that. I love things like that work every single time. So you excited? Because I'm excited for you. When I first share with you what it is, you might go, oh man, really? That's it? So I'm going to warn you, when I first tell you what it is, you might have like a wah wah reaction, but I promise you, hang in there. It's going to get exciting. It's going to get sexy because this will unlock so many chains that are holding you down, so much heaviness, so much density that is like, holding you down. You want to like feel amazing when you wake up in the morning. Like, I'm not talking about fake enthusiasm. Enthusiasm for love, by the way, is real, genuine, authentic, like, yeah, enthusiasm. I'm not talking like, yay, enthusiasm. I'm talking genuine enthusiasm. And love, I'm not talking about just like Hollywood fake romantic love. And you're talking to somebody who loves rom-coms, okay? I'm talking about the real, beautiful, genuine love that is everywhere. You know, I just had a moment with whiskey where I was like, I just love your face, I squeeze your face. You know, when Kendall lived here, we would do squish face on whiskey. You know, that's love. I got to experience love. I experience love multiple times a day with my sweet whiskey. There's love all around. So enthusiasm for love, we're not able to experience it when we have these blocks, when we have this heaviness. Okay, so day six on Celebrate Compassion. What's the theme? I feel like there needs to be a drum roll or something. Okay, it's radical self-forgiveness. You're like, wait a minute, Mandy, how do you know I need to forgive myself? Because you're a human being on planet Earth. Unless you're an enlightened master, which I'm honored. Being playful here, but seriously, like if you're an enlightened master, yo, like give me a call. Because you're a human being and we all have shame. So the thing that holds us back from experiencing joy, experiencing the present moment is fear, anger, grief, shame, either living in the past, right? Or having anxiety in the future. And what cures that is that radical self-forgiveness. And I'm not saying you're going to be like, oh, let's cure it all in one day. See, whiskey's excited about that. But we're going to make a dent. We're going to make a dent today because we're having a party, because that's what we do when we party. We're celebrating. We're going to make a dent. And this process is powerful. So here's what I'd love for you to do. This will be really easy. What's something you have a lot of shame about? What's something that you'd be like, you would pretty much would rather die than have to get like on Facebook Live and do a live about and tell a true story about yourself? What would you not want like every single person in your life to all gather around in a auditorium, you know, or a conference room, like a Marriott, you know, convention center or whatever, and you had a microphone and you had to tell everybody in your life? I'm not saying you're gonna have to do this. I'm just helping you figure out if you need any help. I doubt you do. Most of us know what we have some shame about. So pick something, one thing. You probably are like me where you're like, well, I got that and then I got that, right? So we usually have more than one thing that we're carrying that's still got some heaviness, still got some density to it. What do you have some shame about? Yesterday, I was in a room with very successful, powerful entrepreneurs who make millions of dollars and they're brilliant people. And one of them vulnerably shared how he is aware that he sabotages his business whenever he gets a negative comment on YouTube. And I felt for him because I understood where he was coming from, and it's because he has shame inside him. The mentor didn't really know like how to help him on the deep level. He just said, listen, I just have my team block all the negative comments. Oh my gosh, Whiskey is going crazy. What are you doing? She's going nuts. I'm so excited for you guys to radically self-forgive. Whiskey's so excited for you. I realized, wow, like this is a big deal. It holds so many people back. And I talked to this young man afterwards, and he shared how he is deliberately slowing his business down because of this. And so this is very, very, very real. Okay, now once you have your shame, you have your thing, and just pick one thing just for today because it's one day. Next is remember what compassion is. What's the definition of compassion? Understanding suffering, right? Understanding pain. I know I'm repeating this, but you're gonna have a master's degree in compassion after we're done with this party. So after you have whatever you have shame about, now it's about looking into why you have shame about it and getting curious. So I'm gonna give you a personal example to help you with this. I truly believe that when most people get married, they do not plan on getting divorced, right? I definitely didn't. You know, I never grew up religious, but I'm a romantic. I'm such a romantic. And I always dreamt about the man I was going to marry. You know, when I met Curtis, we fell in love like fast. And I knew within 1 week I wanted to marry him. But we didn't get engaged until a year later. Like we dated and we got to know each other. And I never in my wildest dreams, nightmares, ever thought we would get divorced. And you might think, oh, well, Mandy, you're not religious. Why would you be ashamed? I made a vow. I had all my friends. I had a big wedding. I had a big, beautiful wedding. I had 7 bridesmaids. Curtis had 7 groomsmen. I had my beautiful niece Kendall sing. It was a big deal to me. And to end it 8 years later was not something that I was flippant about. It was not something that I was like, well, can't say that I didn't try. It was devastating. It was a tragedy for me. And I had so much shame. I really had a hard time navigating that. I mean, it was an oak tree of shame inside of me. I don't have that now. That's why I'm able to talk to you about it without getting emotional. And I'm a very, very sensitive and emotional person. So there are some things that I still do carry shame about that I can't do a video about because I'd be like, man, I wouldn't be able to because the emotions, like I haven't navigated through it yet. And there's just some things that take more time than others for whatever reason. So, but I'm going to share with you how I was able to work through this and how I was able to forgive myself, because that's what I'm going to give you this process for you, because it always works. Now, like I said, some of them take more time than others. Once you start this process, it's like a moving train. It's gonna go because you're gonna feel so much better and you're gonna want to keep doing it. It's human nature. We don't want to be in pain. So here's how it works. You got what you have shame about. So like for me, I have shame about the divorce, right? In order for me to be relieved of it, I've got to get curious about what is this shame about. I had to look at, well, do I regret marrying him? No, don't regret marrying him. Looking at, what did I learn? Did I learn something? Oh my gosh, I learned so much. Am I blaming and shaming Curtis? No, I truly believed he did his best. Oh, so I'm just blaming and shaming myself. And there was a time, yes, I think I should have known. Oh, so it was all on me, but not on him. So these are conversations that I have with myself. I got really curious about, what is this really about? What was it that I was holding on to? I realized that I was attached to the image of being a happily married wife. And I realized that I did not want the image of being a divorced woman. And I had shame around being divorced. It was like, that was it. Like, I did not regret meeting Curtis. I did not regret loving him. I believe that both of us did our best. And I believe that we could win an award for how respectful and kind that we were with each other through the separation and through the divorce. I learned so much about myself, and I'm so grateful. And then I realized, oh my gosh, it's the stigma of our culture. That's what I'm stuck on. I'm stuck on the identity of being, like, the status of being a happily married wife and the identity of being this divorced woman. And that's actually what I had shame about. And I realized that everybody who went to my wedding, anyone who judged me or shamed me, or who would want to go, bad Mandy, I don't know who would talk like that, but I wouldn't want in my life, right? It's like, you're not allowed to come to my wedding if you can't be there for me when my heart's broken, right? It's like, you're not allowed. And so my standards are higher of who I want in my inner circle. So I thought, do I really want to put stock, and do I really want to put energy into the minds and the thoughts of anybody who would judge me for this? And how much do I love myself more than the cultural programming of the identity of being a divorced woman? Because once I realized Curtis and I were good, I mean, we're brokenhearted and we're grieving, and we both get sad for sure. And there's normal waves of grief that we're both still navigating, that we're going to be navigating for years to come. That's inevitable. But I'm talking about shame. That's different. Shame is different than grief. And when I got the clarity, see, this is the kind of contemplation and reflection that most people don't do, that most people don't have, how do I point to the lion? That most people don't have the courage to do. But when you have the courage to do it, you're free. Otherwise, I'd be hanging around with this, like, shame on me. I'd be an angry driver, and I'd be judging everybody else, and I wouldn't know where it's coming from. I would be clueless. I'd be unconscious of it. So it's like we hear about become mindful, become conscious. This is how, is we're peeling back the layers of what's going on in here, what is going on in here, what is going on in here, right? So when I realized, holy cow, I was hanging on to shame because of cultural programming, which, by the way, you just do a scotch of research. As a woman, I messed up my hair a little bit, but it's okay. As a woman, marriage was invented not really for us, right? I mean, we were sold. We were like slaves. It's like gross, right? It was like, every woman has this in our DNA of like, we're going to die if we don't have a man. I realized, wow, I'm actually doing, in a way, a service to rebrand that it could be a beautiful, wonderful thing to be divorced. In fact, if you look on my Facebook, I deliberately did this because when I went through this process with myself, I didn't want on Facebook to say that I was divorced, but I was like, nope, I'm going to put it. I'm going to put it because that is the truth. I'm divorced. I'm not going to be ashamed of it. And I'm not going to let this old school cultural programming shame me for it, because I have earned that divorce. I have earned it. Just like I was proud that I got married, guess what? I experienced divorce and it was painful. I'm great. So it's like, I turned it around. I was able to authentically not pour pink paint over it, not try and NLP just reframe it so I could feel better. No, compassion. compassion because I understood why I felt shame. I didn't understand why I felt shame before. Are you starting to get like, oh, that's compassion, right? It's like we're getting the shovel. We're like, oh, okay, that's what's going on. It wasn't even about my marriage. It wasn't even about Curtis. It was about the culture. So I can't wait what comes up for you. So it's all about getting curious about this shame, curious about, and it's just asking questions like, what's really going on? What's really going on? And this is where you could journal. So for some people, it's journaling. For me, I actually like to talk out loud. That's why when I walk whiskey, I talk and I just talk out loud. And I probably look crazy to some of the neighbors. I don't care. I don't care because it helps relieve so much pain and suffering. I'd rather look crazy to the neighbors and be the happiest woman ever than look normal and be cuckoo and then be actually, ironically, literally crazy. So radical self-forgiveness. Oh, it's such a juicy gift to give yourself on day 6 of Celebrate Compassion. Please share with me what comes up for you. Thank you, my friend.